I taught myself how to meditate in a cave in Nepal. I didn't go to Nepal randomly. Years earlier, I had heard the tale about a young man who was on his own journey, a journey that took him to India. Giving up the mod cons of a comfortable life in England, he devoted the next few years to live as a monk. And I thought, brave, selfless, grounding. How many years? I'm not sure. Maybe it was years. Maybe it was months. Maybe it was just a glimpse of an orange robe in his peripheral. The timeline was never fully important to me. What mattered was the transcendence of his story. When he left India, he left with a new aura, slower, more deliberate speech, the ability to make basic truths sound like mystic wisdom, and a 14-month book tour. Beautiful. And I respected that. So I knew I needed my own journey, and so began my cave chapter. I'm Caden Vale, abundance coach, alignment guide, and one of the few men alive who understands that meditation is not about silence. It is about power. It is about regulation. It is about entering the quantum field with such luxurious stillness that reality has no choice but to reorganize itself around your inner premium. And before any of you start getting fact-heavy about the cave, let me just say this. It was absolutely a cave. Was it near the private glamping retreat I was staying at in Nepal? Yes. Did I first see it while being driven past it in a heated Land Cruiser after a cacao breath breakfast? Also yes. Did I spend most of my actual nights in a luxury canvas suite with mountain views, turn-down service, and a copper soaking tub that looked like it had processed several divorces? That is not the point. The point is that the cave found me. Because there was a season in my life when my mind was still too loud, too available, too caffeinated by self-concern to receive the deeper architecture of wealth, healing, and inner authority. At the time, I was doing what most people do when they say they meditate. I was sitting down for 7 distracted minutes, thinking about my phone, my future, and whether I looked spiritually advanced from the side. That's not meditation. That's seated self-admin, and I knew I needed more. I had already explored the soft, nurturing lane, the kind where someone with a very forgiving voice invites you to love yourself more deeply, while a piano quietly forgives your nervous system in the background. Beautiful, supportive, hug-like, but I was past that. I had also entered the presence lane, the slow, almost offensively calm lane, the sort of meditation where a man says, "in space," in a weird tone for 33 minutes, and somehow makes you feel like your overthinking is failing the quantum field. Powerful, sparse, slightly humid with superiority. Then I moved into the body awareness phase. Eyes closed, hands soft, feeling into the inner body, locating subtle sensation, discovering, with great emotional expense, that I did in fact have legs and an electrical relationship with my own rib cage. Useful, sensual, mildly under-monetized. But still, something was missing. Because what I wanted was not just peace. I wanted scale. I wanted neuroscience with stage lighting, mysticism with biometric language, consciousness, but premium. That's when I entered my quantum meditation era, and eventually my Nepal chapter. I remember the day clearly. I had just finished a breath sequence at altitude that was led by a man named Soren or whatever. When I looked out across the mountain line and saw the cave, dark, quiet, ancient, slightly dramatic, the sort of cave that makes you feel like your old identity could die nearby without creating admin. And something inside me whispered, "Go there." So later that afternoon, after a deeply medicinal lunch of lentil broth, truffle salt flatbread, and hashish, I did. I stood at the entrance of that cave and felt it immediately, not the hash. Stillness. Not normal stillness, authoritative stillness. The kind of stillness that says your thoughts are not interesting enough to keep having. And I just knew, this is where I become someone who no longer meditates to cope. This is where I become someone who meditates to command. That changed everything. Because most people meditate from need. They sit down because they are stressed, reactive, heartbroken, overstimulated, dysregulated, or one email away from developing a serious drinking problem. Again, beautiful, human, beginner. But true quantum meditation is not need-based. It is identity-based. You do not enter the field to calm down. You enter the field to become the version of you that no longer requires chaos as proof of relevance. That is the distinction. And once I understood that, my practice deepened. I stopped trying to clear my mind, such a middle-class phrase. I started expanding my signal. I stopped trying to be present, again, useful but small. I started becoming unavailable for lower timelines. And over the next few weeks, my meditation practice became less like wellness and more like internal private equity. Morning cave sits, sunrise breathwork, inner body awareness, conscious stillness, elevated witnessing, field entry, identity rehearsal. 40-minute sessions where I did almost nothing visibly, but privately felt I was outgrowing several dimensions and friendship groups at once. And that's the thing people miss. Meditation is not about doing less. It's about becoming more expensive internally. Because the thoughts you tolerate in silence tell you everything about your standards. If you sit in meditation and instantly start entertaining fear, replaying old wounds, fantasizing about being understood by people so beneath your frequency, or mentally composing texts you should never send, that is not a concentration issue. That is a standards issue. Your inner world is still admitting budget tenants. And once I saw that, I developed one of the core teachings I now give my clients. Do not meditate to feel better. Meditate to become less available for the self who keeps needing rescue. That is what the cave taught me. Not peace, selection. Which thoughts stay? Which identities go? Which emotional loops are no longer allowed to renew their lease in the mind? Because the quantum field, despite what many people say, is not some magical outer soup of potential that rewards vague hope, excellent skin tone, and nice posture. It is responsive. It listens for coherence. And coherence is just what happens when your body, mind, and future stop sending mixed signals about whether you're actually ready for more. That is why so many people meditate for years and still remain completely ordinary. They are using meditation like a warm bath instead of a board meeting. They want relief. I wanted elevation. They wanted to unwind. I wanted to become unreturnable to my old self. There's a difference. That's also why I never fully resonated with the more casual meditation culture. The just breathe, just be, just soften community. Again, lovely people, often very moisturized. But I needed something with more authority, something that felt like transcendence with an edge of monetary gain. I wanted a meditation practice that could sit somewhere between loving acceptance, sacred presence, body awareness, quantum ambition, and a faint but undeniable smell of financial destiny. And that is what I built. My own practice, my own method. Self-taught, yes, but not in the ordinary sense. Self-taught through the cave, through the mountains, through the field, through a glamping package so expensive it forced me into deeper receptivity. And now when people ask me how to meditate, I always say the same thing. Stop trying to relax. Relaxation is a side effect. Meditation is about becoming the sort of person whose thoughts no longer get to speak without being vetted. It is about inner curation, timeline filtration, consciousness with standards. That is where the real shift happens. Because once you can sit still without immediately becoming emotionally available to nonsense, your whole life changes. Your choices sharpen, your energy stabilizes, your tolerance for chaos drops. Your relationship with your mind becomes less democratic. And that, in my experience, is where power begins. So yes, I taught myself how to meditate in a cave in Nepal. And no, I don't feel the need to over-explain the accommodation details. Because transformation does not care where you slept. It cares whether you listened. If this activated you, comment cave, and I'll send you the private payment link for my Quantum Cave meditation transmission. It's a premium audio download where I walk you through the exact inner stillness principles I refined during my Nepal chapter, including thought filtration, field entry posture, and my personal cave journal excerpt from the afternoon I realized peace was never the goal. Authority was. It starts at 0.06 Bitcoins because cheap meditation advice keeps the mind financially unavailable. As always, my beautiful souls, namaste. And remember, Personal transformation is non-refundable.